Welcome to the Squad Games Podcast. Squad Games Podcast.
What went on this past weekend? Big Kill Team weekend, you know?
Huge Kill Team weekend.
Huge Kill Team weekend.
Yeah.
But before we get to the huge Kill Team weekend, guys, I have a question for you. Would you rather charge an intercessor that has a baseball bat or an intercessor that has a knife?
I would rather run the other way.
I think I'd rather turn and fight for the Emperor.
But which one would you fight?
Which one would I fight? Well, I'd lose to both. So,
But you got who'd you lose faster to?
he'd probably shoot me with a bolter before I could even get to the knife. Or the
I don't know. They got
No,
3
no, no.
ATL. They're going to make a charge action first, then double fight.
There you go. I'll take, hit me with a baseball bat, one clean hit right in the head. Just let me go quick. Won't even know what happened to me.
No,
I'll charge the baseball bat.
I've been watching Gen V from Amazon Prime. It's like the Boys spinoff. In the most recent episode, this dude just starts ripping people apart with his bare hands. And he's a puppet. And in this particular scene, it's part of a sci-fi spinoff, and or it's part of a superhero satire. But they're not puppets. It's just this scene was puppets, and it was so fucking gruesome. I could just see myself running at the intercessor, him dropping the knife or bat, and then just taking my head and my shoulder and just ripping me in half.
Doom style.
Doom style. So.
Nice.
As long as it's quick.
Personally, I'm kind of a knife guy. I like knives, if you know that about me.
Right.
So, I'd run up and get a nice little look at his knife right before he shoves it in my head. I'm sure it'd be over quick.
Okay, so I know this is not a knife podcast, but I am also a knife guy. So, Tyler, if you had to be killed by an intercessor with a pocket knife, which pocket knife do you want to go out by?
I don't know, man. Those? You ever look at those super expensive custom knives? They're completely
like a Sabenza or something like that, or even fancier.
Spider.
Like a what are they called? I want to say it's called a Mojave or something that. Like a
Even
giant,
more baller.
just a giant, something completely impractical. One of those knives you can't really carry that you just buy because they're $5,000 and they're gold and they look cool and they sit in the display shelf when you have too much money.
How about that one pocket knife that this group made for Shaq, and they went on a world tour looking for Shaq, and they finally found him.
What the hell?
And it was
Oh yeah, no, I know these guys.
yeah, they made this giant knife that was supposed to look like a normal knife in the hands of Shaq.
Shaq knife?
I feel like they're in Portland.
I think so. And then they also made a knife that goes to Hayabusa, like the little dude that slaps the shit out of people at the UFC. You know what I'm talking about?
No clue.
No? They made a tiny little knife, and now they're trying to find him.
Oh, that guy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's WESN knives. Yeah, Wesson.
Okay.
But I think they're maybe a Portland situation. They're very cool. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one. I mean, I'd rather have Shaq stab me with the giant knife than an intercessor.
That man is intercessor sized almost. So
Basically.
Yeah.
At least Thunder Warrior.
Hopefully they cast him for the upcoming Amazon Prime show.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Watch it be like the kids show, but with Warhammer. I think that was a joke I'd read.
He just plays basketball with somebody's head in the show, just because that's what an intercessor would do,
Maybe like a Chaos Marine.
Yeah.
Ooh, a Shaq Chaos Space Marine. I'm so down.
That's the next conversion.
There you go. 3D print the heads, man. Starting now.
Time to get on it.
Yeah, this is the Squad Games Podcast. My name's Giacomo. That guy's Dakotah. Someone over there is named Tyler, and someone far, far away is named Ben. How you guys doing?
How's it going? I'm
Great,
excellent.
man.
I'm glad you're all here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for having me too.
Glad to see you guys on again. I think this is both of your third time on the podcast. Welcome back.
Yeah, three-peat for both of us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, today a lot of stuff happened in the Kill Team world this past weekend. Not only did we finally get another reveal outside of Justin Timberlake's,
Kind of flash in the pan thing that happened.
Yeah. Well, it was a flash in the pan, and then it never appeared. I don't think I can still buy them in the U.S. Can we?
You got to eBay it, pretty much.
Well, some people, if you got in time, you could get it through a separate distributor, but a lot of folks just didn't even know about it. So a lot of people missed out, and it was very limited.
No, we got it. And we gave a whole bunch away this weekend, actually. So,
oh, nice.
Oh, that rules.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah. So the flash in the pan that is Justin Timberlake and the NSYNC, them coming back and making a new song wasn't bad.
I listened to that on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between that, the Tampa Open, which had 47 players,
49, I believe,
49 players, and then the other major that happened at Killscream up in Portland, with 64, and then we also had another major happen, which was the Australian. I'm not sure if it was this weekend or the weekend before, but they gave out 2 golden tickets. So in total, this past weekend, 4 golden tickets were given out.
Wow. Now Charlie has to find the 5th.
Exactly. And our last week's podcast, we did a whole tier list on what we thought would win this upcoming season. And it's very interesting, the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Which we'll get into.
Yeah, we definitely will. But before we get to Kill Team, I ended up going to Vegas this weekend. I ignored all of the Kill Team rumors or reveals until I got home on Monday. And went and shot some really big guns. The Barrett sniper rifle is an amazing thing to fire. And then I also saw the Knights game from a VIP lounge, which was a lot of fun. And I got to asking a few questions to as a friend of mine's bachelor party. And found out that I have a very weird music taste. I'm not the most musically gifted person, but my musical things that I like are interesting. I wanted to ask you fellas, what is your guys' favorite song of all time, and then your favorite song currently?
Oh man,
that's like the hardest question.
Yeah, what the heck, Dakotah?
No, that one's pretty easy for me. When it comes to like my favorite song, probably of all time, it either comes down to a Linkin Park song or a System of a Down, but I'd probably give it System of a Down because it sort of shaped the rest of the music that I listened to from.
Is it the pizza song?
No, it was BYOB.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the one for me. And then currently, I've really been into If I Lead by Kiltro, which is not metal at all. It's more of like Spanish style. Yeah, so that's currently like answering that question right now.
All right. How about you fellas?
I don't think I can name a single song. I can name like a favorite band, favorite album, but like a single song is like so hard to narrow down for me.
I'll give you a few more minutes to think about it because I want to get a song, my friend. A song.
So the one that comes to my mind, I am a fairly musical guy. If it has strings, strings and frets, I can pretty much play it. But the first, I love everything, man. Like I like a lot of music, but one that comes to my mind of all time, and I'm in a big yacht rock phase right now. But aside from that, laugh away, man.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yacht rock?
Yeah.
Is that like rock and roll on a yacht?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're thinking like Christopher Cross. We're talking, maybe some Doobie Brothers. Mike McDonald,
like Kenny
Loggins. Yes, good stuff, man. But
nothing like I'm on a boat, right?
No. But for me, maybe one of the greatest songs of all time, one of the many, Ain't No Mountain High, Marvin Gaye, classic. It's just so good. I love that one. So maybe that one for me.
Okay. All right, Tyler. So what's your favorite song, brother?
Man, you really, really hurt me with this, but I'm going to go with New Death Sensation by Acid Bath.
I don't think I've heard that song. I'm going to have to look that up.
What kind of metal are we talking with this?
Sludge metal.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I do like some sludge.
Yeah. So it's like if you took took Black Sabbath, and then put them in an acid bath. No, it's like if Black Sabbath was hooked on heroin and from New Orleans.
Hey, you're
It's
not
kinda
like
like that.
This
not,
does
like,
not
super
help
off.
me whatsoever.
No, it's really good. You should check out I Hate God also. They're
Oh, yeah?
incredible. Yeah,
Okay.
it's basically the blues, just like way
Ooh.
down tuned and like really heavy. So
I'm a blues man at heart, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
the whole genre is just the blues reinterpreted.
You have a
like-
blues voice, you know.
Me, I do. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
It's that bassy sound.
Ooh. Yeah, no. My favorite kind of metal, I like any music that has a groove. And there's some metal that like blast beats don't do anything for me, but like if there's a groove, oh man, I'm about the groove.
All right.
It's a
You need
groovy
that
groovy
bass.
subgenre.
So I'll take it.
So, my favorite song full time is by
Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue.
Oh
No,
no!
it's "Call Me Maybe" by Kylie Rae Jepsen, whatever her name
Carly
is.
Rae Jepsen.
Yeah, that's the one. And then my current favorite song is Iniko, the Jericho by Iniko.
Why do I think
So-
I know that?
She sings like a really beautiful, how do I say? So the artist is Iniko, and then the song is called Jericho. She's like an acapellist. It's fucking sick.
Oh no, I don't know her. I thought it was somebody else.
Dakotah, I'm a little scared to ask, but why is "Call Me Maybe" your favorite song of all time?
White Chicks.
Yeah. Wait, don't they do a different song in White Chicks, or did they do?
Yeah, what are you talking about, dog?
Yeah.
Are you thinking "Walking My Way Downtown"?
No, that's
Walking-
my second favorite song.
Okay.
So Call Me Maybe is my favorite song just because like the beat is so catchy and I just rock out to it. I'm white as fuck.
You
So-
threw a wish in the well. You swear
Yeah.
that you'd never tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Whatever floats your boat, dog. It's all subjective. So
Yeah. My favorite album of all time is the Braveheart soundtrack.
ooh,
An
okay,
interesting choice.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm just a weird guy. You know, if no one is known, you know, I give hugs and I'm weird. So
I'm a hugger too, man. So you come to like one of my events, second event, I'm asking to hug you probably.
all right.
Well,
They
I'm
hug
coming to
so hard it
LVO,
explodes.
and I'm expecting to see both you guys, and I'm
So you-
expecting
Double
big
hug.
old bear hugs.
There we go.
I wouldn't expect any less from you, Ben.
So, is this? Can we lock in a three-way bear hug in
Hell
LVO? Can we lock that in?
For
Explode.
sure.
yeah.
100%.
Let's do it.
Giacomo can get the tail end of our three-way hug.
I'll feel it. It'll be secondhand hug. Like I'll feel it through this. The like
Through
I'm
the
saying,
warp.
it'll explode. You know, and
Yeah.
everyone will feel it in the room.
Yeah.
I'll be over there with Sheldon sitting at the table doing our recording stuff, and they'll be
Are you
like,
kidding?
"Whoa!"
Sheldon's going to be the fourth, like the person to like dog pile on top of us.
That's true. That's a Sheldon
That's true.
move.
That's true. That is a Sheldon move.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was, I invited you both on today because I wanted to specifically know how these giant tournaments work. It's always went. It's very interesting hearing about the Games Workshop tournaments and how they go. Right.
Absolutely.
Like I've never been to one. So
For real?
sorry. Yeah, I haven't. Sorry, Ben. One of these days, Ben Cash, I'll come to one. He's the main TO. So
Yeah, he was great, man. He was awesome at Tampa.
Ben
Yeah.
was awesome at Tacoma too.
see, if they would have had another one in San Diego, I probably would have went. But this one was in Tacoma, and it was at a bad time. So it's kind of on GW because they don't publish their events until like February. When FLG does it like the year before.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, fellas, who wants to go first, Ben or Tyler?
I'll let
Oh,
you go
man.
first, Ben.
Can we go first? Okay. Yeah. Tampa was awesome, man. This is my second GW event, and both went really smooth. The TO, I believe, at Kansas City was Dan. He was awesome. I met Ben Cash at KTO this past year briefly when he came in and saved the day with some terrain. But I'd never been in an event that he TO'd. Wonderful, man. He rules. He's awesome. Event went really good. And like on my end, went in like the goal was 4-2 and best painted. the dream was 5-1, but the goal was 4-2. And you know what, man, we made it out 4-2 and best painted. So super rules, left feeling great. My Red Corsairs had a pretty sweet display board.
Yeah,
and
sick.
Thank you, man.
What did you use for the base? Was it 3D printed or?
No, it's all GW. I was like, man, I'm not getting kicked out for anything. So it's a Necromunda tile that I cut down to size. I cut off some of the squares, and then the wall is obviously Octarius terrain, and from the Soul Shackle or whatever, Shadow Fall, whatever garbage. With the walls that blow out, and so I added some sprue goo to make it look like it had melted, and so it's like they're breaching. They're Red Corsairs are space pirates at heart, so they're breaching and they're coming to steal some Gene Seed, steal some sludge metal albums, whatever it is, you know what I mean. So left feeling pretty good about that. 4-2 best painted went really good. Adrian Bonvento. The commando, the king of commandos, man, took it home. So he went undefeated. Real good dude. My first time meeting him, he was great. And a big win for us for Florida, man. Our boy Dawson took it home second. And because Adrian already had the golden ticket, went to Dawson. So confirmed, we got a Florida boy, a Florida man going to champs in November, Atlanta, which super rules. When it's funny, I swear you will never see a group of people as excited for someone to win second place as we all were when Dawson locked in second. We had a little party. It was great. And no, it was awesome, man. It was a great time.
Nice. Now, it's hard because you didn't go to Nova. I was going to say, how was the terrain compared to Nova? Did they use any turning point tactic layouts, or do you know, because they just did all Octarius, right?
Right. So no turning point tactics, although I would say the boards are sort of inspired by that 3 pieces heavy in the center, 1 piece heavy in deployment situation.
Okay.
And so one thing about the terrain, I'll say this: as far as I have seen, best terrain layouts GW has done for Kill Team. Like there was no oh man, this sucks, except for one thing, which I'll get to in a second. But I thought they were really, really good. Like at Kansas City, I even told Dan, I was like, Dan, my guy, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us with this terrain? But I think, Tyler, you were saying Tacoma was pretty good as well. Is that true?
Absolutely. From what I've seen, they're actually the same layout as they were in Tacoma.
So here's my one gripe, is that there was heavy in your deployment zone, so you could deploy onto vantage points.
Oh, to me, that's not the worst. Sometimes, so for instance, with GW terrain, they're so massive, it's hard to fit in. Because when you think about it, a lot of GW's terrain is not made for GW. I mean, for Kill Team.
Kill Team.
So they kind of have to do what they got to do. And I've also been experimenting with advantages in your deployment zone, specifically with hamburger. So that's the short edge deployment with the 6-inch deployment. Because it's really, really difficult to get enough terrain on the board to make it feel normal when so much of the map is cut off through your deployment. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. It
can be pretty difficult. What was so bad about I know that it's like the most hated thing on Reddit next to season 3. Everyone seems to hate that on Reddit. Like it's pretty funny.
I'm just for me, fundamentally opposed to if you can put your concealed sniper down on a vantage point, then now you don't need to pick your 3-inch dash fly. You know what I mean? If you want to be able to do that, I think you need to have to pay the tax, which is choosing 3 on your scouting phase. So I just don't like that you can do it for free. But in my games, it did not make or break anything in my games, but I am just opposed to it as an idea for Kill Team.
So we just rip off the roof on Octarius.
Well, there you go. That's the other way to do it, man. I like that.
So we just have two. We run 2 L shapes whenever we have Octarius with no roof, and then 2 with Vantage, and that solves most of the issues.
So you make it really, really difficult to score Vantage.
No, I mean, like, there's still 3 pieces of Vantage on there rather than 5.
Fair,
and, minimum.
Still pretty difficult, but yes.
I mean, like, I guess it's difficult because you're not supposed to be scoring them on your deployment zone. So if you have Vantage in your deployment zone, you can't score that at anyways.
Very true. You should earn it.
Yeah, but that was just what I was about to say, because like the Vantage that's close to your deployment zone is within 3, so you're never scoring it on that one anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I think that the terrain debate is always very interesting. I think that it's probably okay to have a Vantage in your own deployment zone as long as that Vantage can only see like 2 objectives. The other 4 need to be safe. I think but it's also very difficult to have that come across. So I'm a little bit more in GW's camp on that one, just because. But then again, I have no idea what these look like.
Yeah,
all
they
was
were good layouts. They were straight up good. Like aside from that, and that's just something I am just opposed to as an idea. I think wonderful layouts, like very Turning Point Tactics inspired, which I think pound for pound, the Turning Point layouts, like for people who have GW terrain, I think just pound for pound the most useful for folks with GW terrain. So, does it make triple git a nightmare? Yeah, totally. But aside from that, great boards, great layouts. They did a great job.
Yeah, you can't really not, like, we all know triple git's eventually going to get nerfed in some form or fashion.
I mean,
otherwise people will just stop playing the game.
For sure.
I think that, I think it's going to be.
It's part of life right now, and you just deal with triple git,
Yeah, like terrain is like, it's literally impossible to build a map while trying to also build for crit ops and also stop triple git. Like,
it's just because commandos are like just they're broken, man. They're straight up nutty.
Yeah,
and I think it's just a git thing.
Yeah. So interesting, Tyler. Did you guys have any commandos go deep at yours, or did you guys not have a lot of commando players?
We didn't have a lot of commando players at our event.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I said it before. I think our players up here kind of stick with what they like. I don't think we have a lot of people that are really going after that, not necessarily meta chasing, but, they're not switching around. They're sticking with the teams that they enjoy. And I think that's important to a lot of people. I know that we got Chuck Pepper, who finished second. I
love Chuck. He's such a nice guy.
Oh, Chuck is so
cool. He came up to me and Giacomo at LVO, and he didn't play one of the days, and he just talked our ears off in a good way.
Absolutely.
He's a great dude.
I love Chuck. One of the best friends I've made from the hobby, I would say. But he's right now the second in the world for Kasserkin. So he's like really pushing for number 1, nice. I believe. And then Brandon, winning with Blooded. He's one of the top ranked Blooded players in the United States. I think number 2, number 1, and going for that high ranking in the world too.
Is that who won? Did Blooded win?
Blooded did win. Yeah.
Ooh, you love to see it, man. Those elite hunters, like, because you have a very like pretty elite meta, right? Absolutely. Still these days. Yeah. So I wonder if that also plays a part. Also with the good sportsmanship side of things, like, but I wonder if that coupled with, man, commandos are just going to struggle into a field of intercessors and legionaries. Like, those are as bad as it gets for them. I wonder if those two things maybe keep like commandos out. But then Blooded, man, like, just have so many tools to trade with elite models. It's wild.
Absolutely. I mean, like, once they go into elites, it's over for them. Like, it's worst matchup for any elite team.
For which one? Who's the worst matchup?
Blooded.
Oof, Blooded, man. Blooded are nasty. As a legionary player, what am I not looking forward to? I'm not looking forward to Kasserkin. Not looking forward to Blooded. These days, I'm not looking forward to Hearthkin.
Or Vetguard.
Vetguard. Vetguard has enough models you can bounce around a little bit, but just so much AP. Yeah, it's not one that I'm like looking forward to.
right? Because you get melted out of nowhere from blooded, or you get plasmid.
Or the butcher, like boom, 2 crits. Good game, good game,
and then
dog.
You do what when I forget what their mechanic is. When you get enough blood tokens, you can then just do that and just slay somebody.
Yeah,
in combat, which is
blooded are so good. Without being overpowered, they're awesome.
Yep, agreed. I think that they're a really well balanced team.
Yeah, it's interesting. You guys actually had quite a few Tampa had quite a few Hyrotech Circle.
Oh yeah, man! I faced one of them. That was my last matchup. Was a lovely dude named James. Was one of my favorite matchups of the week. Probably my favorite matchup. It was just like there is a part of Kill Team for me that I enjoy. Is like I think Dakotah, you get this. Like there's a performative aspect for me that I want the person that I'm playing to walk away going, man, Ben was just a really fun person to play. I want to be cracking jokes and bouncing things off each other. And James was a great, almost like an improv, like a great scene partner for that. So, but a couple of, what were they called? Hyrotech. And one of my locals, John from OG Kill Team, I think took 6th or something. And he's a great player. He went 4-1-1. And, man, he's a very unconventional player where he loves a gamble. He loves to go for it and make you go, okay, here's what I did. Deal with it or lose. That's kind of how he likes to play. And so an interesting placing for us.
Absolutely.
Just team wise.
So another interesting statistic is that Tampa had 4 Orc Commando players.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Killscream had 3, but the highest ranked Orc Commando player from Killscream was 21st, and the top 3 Orc Commandos went 1st, 2nd, and 8th for the top 3 Orc Commando players from Tampa. So extremely different. In Australia, they had Chaos Colts win the whole thing.
Oh, pretty zany.
Yeah, I know, right? And then second place was Intercession from Australia. They both got golden tickets. So going back to Tampa, I know that you just said your favorite opponent. Is there anything else that you want to shout out from the event? Was the pricing cool? Was the atmosphere interesting, or was it the same as the last GW event that you attended?
GW, their events, I've been to 2, are pretty consistent. Like you seem to know what you're getting when you go in. Prize for them, you get to dig through a chest and pull out cool stuff. So which is fun, but it's not the same as there's something very different when you go to a dedicated Kill Team event, like something like KTO, or I'm really pumped to hear about Killscream, something that is just focused by Kill Team folks, specifically for Kill Team folks. There is something objectively different and a little more special at those. I think as just, Kill Team stan myself, but GW events are great. Anything to shout out? Had a lot of great players. I don't think there was only maybe one situation where somebody was being too overly sweaty or something that I noticed. But aside from that, or 2 dragging things on too much, there's only I think one situation I can think of. But went good, man. Ben is a total pro, knows what he's doing, and makes it feel like it's casual while also competitive and a good mix of those things. So it was great, man. GW runs good events. The way they do their placings and pairings and stuff is a cruel mistress that I do not yet understand, but you know what? The GW is GW, man. And it was a good event all overall. Really good stuff.
That's great. Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a couple days and Tampa still hasn't updated their ITC, so they haven't submitted the event. So,
I know, man. I was looking this morning trying to find it, but I didn't see anything.
I mean, it's just a button click away. So, but who knows? It's hard to say hey, Bats is. I wanted to say that Cats is now the number 2 team in the U.S. And It may just be for a day. Who knows? I don't think that six-sided Paradise, but there's 2 from Brooklyn Strategist. I mean, Brooklyn Strategist might be able to pop up there, but I'm not sure. It's interesting to see where the teams are going to land, and like what teams are kind of being pushed as some of the top performing teams. But Cats is definitely doing a wonderful job. You guys are currently in second. It seems like everyone got their names right this time.
Absolutely. Which is
Tyler. What was that meeting like? How many messages did you have to send out? Like, guys, please type it in this way.
it was there was a lot. Like the night before in our like team chat, it's like, okay, you guys, make sure that you get your name in correctly. So it doesn't help that we like to play around with the name a little bit. So people get a little silly sometimes. But I don't know. Like I've reached out because BCP is its own beast. Sometimes it's doesn't cooperate the way you want it to. Mm-hmm. So we split the event into 2 days with a 2-round knockout.
That's a very interesting choice, by the way.
It was. I don't think it was the correct choice. I think it was just a fear of BCP, especially with the app not working, and then the web interface is quite ominous when you go to click something. So that was the decision made because I don't want to accidentally mess up my results and then have to go through and manually re-enter everything in there. So I reached out to BCP to see if they can correct, and we may see some changes in stats.
The top 4 final placings, right?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to just reach out to BCP. Usually they're pretty responsive, but they're better on the Discord. I'll get you in their Discord after this.
I hit them on Discord.
Nice. Nice. So tell us about Killscream. It was 64 players, the largest event to grace the Pacific Northwest. Tell us about it.
Yep. So it was incredible. First off, I gotta say we raised $1,000 for charity this year.
Nice.
Or not this year.
What was the charity?
Event. So it was to City Central Concern, or Central City Concern here in Portland, and they do like helping people find like housing and health and recovery from like drug addiction or jobs. Stuff like that. So incredibly important stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it.
So I was incredibly impressed with our community's generosity at this event.
So at during the last podcast you're on, you told us how good Brendan Bean is, and he's from Cats and took Colts at the Tacoma event and ended up not doing as hot as he did with Blooded. What do you think led to Blooded's success at this event compared to Colts? Because it does not seem that there are. I'm trying to see if there's any Colts. Oh, so there's one person that brought Colts and placed 20th. Mm-hmm. Chris Dunshee.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris was doing pretty good through most today, but on to Brandon. I think that really what spelled his doom the second day of Tacoma was he got sick. He wasn't feeling as well as he could, and not playing up to where he should be. I think he went back to Blooded because that's where his heart is. He's a Chaos player through and through. He only plays Chaos. And
I know quite
good
a few
man.
people like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Good man.
Same.
Sounds like a pretty good guy.
He is. Hopefully you'll meet him at some point, Ben.
I'd love to.
But yeah, just an incredible player with Blooded. And like I said, that's where his heart is. That's what he has so many reps into. He has hundreds of reps with Blooded probably. So, play what you know and win with them.
Absolutely. That's what I do. That's what I do with Vetguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nothing beats, I say this all the time, nothing is as valuable as being able to play your team like without the book. You know what I mean? Like if you can play your team without referencing the book, like, dude, that is worth so much.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll see people that have like these piles of data cards and stuff printed out. And I always try to encourage them, not that they're not cool are good. But you want to try to move away from that whenever
Totally.
possible. It only slows down play. They're good, like if you can hand them to your opponent really quickly. You need to reference something, but usually the book, especially if you have it spiral bound, is a lot faster. So, the more
I personally like the cards.
That's fair. With that guard, though, I mean, you got a lot to remember. I could not remember that. I just play 6-person teams, maybe 9, maybe 9.
When you're like 50 games deep, then you're like, oh yeah, that's what a hand axe does. It helps whenever I have to TO and I have to play because we don't have like enough members or something like that. I just play all hand axes and play super suboptimally just to see. It kind of helps explore the team. And I feel that, I don't think a lot of people play with their team suboptimally enough so that they can't explore new tactics and tricks. Because like, what if you run like 5 assault intercessors and see how it goes instead of just doing the quote unquote best?
Dude, I am so for the assault heavy intercession. I am so for it. I love it, dude. Like, what are you going to do? There's turn 2, you're getting charged 6 times. What are you going to do? Deal with it. One of them's got a grenade. Deal with it.
Yeah. Giacomo's one of the shooters, he's a shooty guy.
It's the optimal way to play him. I've done the 5-1. I've done the 6 once. I had to proxy it, and it's all right. You're definitely right. You charge everything. But I find sometimes there's guys that are better at fighting me, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm stuck.
Just charge him twice, then G. Till he dies.
You play Seek and Destroy in that fight. You don't play security,
Yeah, you just go ham. Just
wait, hold on.
Kill
You play
for the
something.
Emperor.
Yeah, we got to go back. Are you running security, Giacomo?
There's occasionally times I run security. Yeah.
Yep. I don't think it's bad with intercession.
I know, because intercession's really easy to do Seek and Destroy regardless, because they're like, yeah, play the game. All right, cool. But there's times where your opponents are like, yeah, you're really hard to crack even with intercession. Just play security, because I'm also hard to crack. Or if they're very sneaky and you can't really get a shot off, play security, because they have to come to you.
That's fair. I'm just a Seek and Destroy guy all the way through.
Yeah, at heart. I just want to kill. Kill, main, burn, baby.
It is the easiest option, and I generally choose it. Sometimes I will choose security. Like, now that I've got to play against RBDs, there's times I almost don't want to take Seek and Destroy, because I can hold a position better than they can try to beat me out of it. And if I'm trying to fight them in close combat and they have shields, they just like double parry, and then I might hit them once, and like, okay, it's going to take too long. Just play security and score points at the end.
Just play duelists and aggressive versus them.
You could, yeah. There's a team where I could see you playing all melee just so that you can sort of be stuck in and eventually you'll win attrition. But I like my shooting. Just, phosphor lumens are a pain in my ass.
Oh yeah,
you
don't get your one reroll. Oh man,
my many reroll. Because I chose the tactical doctrine, and then I realized I'm within 6 inches, and that's a problem. Good times.
Well, tactical is within 6, isn't it?
Yeah, phosphor lumens are within 6 too.
Oh sure, yeah. You don't get to reroll 1 dice. Oh man, bummer.
I know, right? That's all it takes, though. It's just the 1 dice. You're like, whoa. That's all you needed,
Absolutely.
I mean, Marines rely on rerolls.
It's that 1 dice sometimes, even when you get like 4 hits, just regular hits, and you're like, well, I can still reroll 1. I'm rolling for that crit here.
Exactly.
So I know there's a lot of people out there that do listen to our podcast. Maybe they stop listening to their podcast because my name has been written into the Dwarven Book of Death so many times for talking shit about Hearthkin so often, because I see everyone saying how good they are. Can we all just point out that the number 1 Hearthkin Salvager player on Killscream got 25th, while the highest Hearthkin Salvager on at Tampa got 28th, and then.
Let's walk this back. Let's walk this back. Who is playing them?
All right. So
who's playing them? How many reps do they have into the team? I know for a fact the one at Tampa was newer to them.
Okay.
Okay.
Hearthkin Salvagers will chew through power armor like you don't even.
I 100%
it's not
agree.
even there, dog.
I
Holy
agree.
cow.
They
Yeah,
also
Magna
mess
rifles.
up cultists very well.
You know what else they mess up? Sneaky Git.
All I'm saying
because
is
the Locator, yeah.
They shut it down.
Yeah.
they do. All I'm saying is that Hearthkin, I'm not on the rockin' train.
Well, they're not a team that's easy to like for a lot of folks. Like it is not an easy team to just walk into and crush with. Like there is stuff. There's stuff going on. You got to learn. Man, it's slow. Where does my token go? How do I get on all these objectives? Because like I'm not fast enough to get there natively. What am I doing? But dude, their toolkit is wild, dog.
They're
wild.
They're way better on turning points 3 and 4 than most teams, as long as they don't lose operatives. I think one of the most important things is that you should not lose a dwarf turning point 1. If you have, you're already messing up really badly with them, just because they are a slow and steady team. Slow and steady wins the race with them. I think they really struggle into a lot of stuff currently because there are so many more fast teams out there. And if everyone always says this game is like a game of inches, a game of movement, right? Still, the only way to win with Hearthkin, in my estimation, is to give them a 6-inch move or 3 APL, right?
I don't know.
The ancients are watching.
I don't know,
very
man.
Important.
I think
I don't know, man.
I'm with Ben. I think they got play right now. I think why you didn't see them finish higher at Kill Scream is because the best Hearthkin player out here, Kit, she switched to Blooded again. So
okay.
So
she placed 4th at your guys' last tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But like the proof is in the pudding, in my opinion. Like until I see a Hearthkin player,
I think this data is way whack.
That isn't in Europe, or perhaps playing them incorrectly.
No.
Needs to I need to see them do well in order for me to put them higher on a tier list. Just because I do think that I still think that they need a buff, is what I'm saying. I think that in the next day,
no way, dog. No way.
I think
no way, dog. This is a grudge hill that I will die on. You don't need a buff. Look, dude. Okay, so let's say I think you could lose a dwarf turn 1 and still be fine. You got 10 guys. You lose a dwarf. That guy gets slapped with a grudge token. Next turning point rolls around. Now he's got 2 grudge tokens on him, maybe 3. All you got to do is hit, and that turns into a crit. Dude, do you know how many times I've been hit by a dwarf and turns into 4 crits? It's disgusting, man. And the plasma knives, like, okay, here you go.
4?
Take 3-5, lethal 5.
3-5, that's right.
So here, boom. What are you, an intercessor? What are you? Who cares? We don't care. Take 5 damage. You're going to take 10 damage before this fight is through, and that's a good trade. So I'm on Team Hearthkin all the way, man. I think they rule.
Same.
So I think they are really good into elite teams, and I know both of you play elite teams.
You gotta let them cook. You gotta let these short kings cook. Let them cook. They're not done yet.
No, I like that. G, what do you think? You've been silent on this. Are you trying not to get written in the book?
No, I'll write in the book. All right. So we can already know that movement is important in this game, and they kind of lack some movement, right? What they make up for is incredible firepower and consistent hits with the grudge tokens, right? And sort of like Blooded, you actually kind of want a few to die so you can rev up that grudge token. If you can play them in a weird way, you almost could bait out the thing you really want to kill and have them kill some of your weaker guys just so you can have like the Magna Rail come in and just blast the guy to Kingdom Come, And then it becomes a lot easier of a fight. And like we were mentioning earlier, the Locator really does stop a lot of forward movement shenanigans, which in a way slows down everybody else. So,
Totally.
And you sort of on their level. That's the big one, So I think although they have a lot of tools, someone hasn't quite figured out how to make it happen yet.
There you go.
Optimal
totally
strategy.
Agree.
At least in the US, right?
At least in the US. So that's why they're sitting at, like when we were thinking about them, like in the C, kind of like the middle level right now when we did our last tier list, like they're playable and you could win, but it's going to take you some effort.
I think they're also being a new faction that was very polarizing. I think a lot of folks don't even think of them as like a 40K faction quite yet, and they're not on a lot of folks' mind. So I think that is also a point where we don't see a ton of them, is that like people either love them or hate them. There is no, like, they're very, very divisive in that way. But man, I tell you what, man, I hated him at first, and I really like him, and we'll see, man. We'll see. I may play around with him, but I don't know. I have some other teams I want to look at.
Make some Chaos Dwarves, man.
Oh, that'd be good. So yeah, I think Dakotah, I think you're on Elf Island by yourself here. That's what this is. You're just an elf guy.
I am.
Oh, you dirty, dirty dog. We figured it out.
Hey,
you can die side by side.
Shave my back and call me an elf. Yeah. So before we move into what you did painting wise for your team, tell us a little bit more about Killscream. Did you guys? I saw a lot of wonderful hobby. Where can people find pictures of the teams from Killscream?
So Disregarding Dice, which is Zach's website.
Oh, dude, I love his blog, man. His pictures are beautiful.
Absolutely. His photos are incredible. Incredible player, making it all the way to the finals with novitiates. Crazy. But
they're real good. As long as you don't have Into the Dark, they're real good.
Yeah,
I think they're making a comeback.
Absolutely. But like excellent player with him, but his photos, stole the show. So you can find photos of some stuff there. And then really on our Discord, or about any Discord, because I've spammed photos everywhere. Because I think everyone should see all the awesome photos from the event, because it was incredible. So yeah, if you want to find them, find me on Discord and I'll send them to you directly if you can't find them. So
I know that you posted quite a few, and you posted the link in the Squad Games Discord and the competitive chat. So if you're not a part of the competitive chat, just go up into the left-hand side and you can click competitive, and then all the competitive stuff will pop up. No, that's good. Did you guys have any like super big sponsors for the event that you'd like to give a shout out? Like your local scene, or any?
So Guardian Games provided us the space for it. They were a generous host. And then other than that, we had no sponsors. They gave us some gift cards to give away. And then you did send up some stuff, Dakotah, so I got to shout you out. And then
I saw that token, that branded token holder. Ooh, yeah, baby.
Absolutely.
So sweet.
I almost tried to make them look like blood.
I almost stole it, honestly. Like, I was like Bilbo Baggins said, like, why shouldn't I keep it? It's mine after all. It was mailed to me.
It was mailed to you.
Yeah, exactly. So
that was going to be your guys' surprise if all three of you came down. I was going to give all three of you that tray.
Well, we will definitely make it down next year. I hope that the offer's still on the table, because bribes are sweet. Oh
yeah, I take bribes all the time. Yeah,
absolutely. Not when judging, but otherwise, if you want me to come to your event, swag me out. So
major swag out.
Yeah, Slow Death Games made us some measuring tools for everyone to give out to everyone. A guy named Sean on our Discord made little, what we call them, tactical nachos to replace the order tokens. He's kind of done up a different design than some of the ones you see out there.
Ooh, I got to see those.
They're really cool. They're like little Doritos, and you just like, you remember the 3D Doritos? Like,
I remember those.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those, but they got the orders on them. So
I thought so. Justin Dean, or Whopper, he made
that guy.
He made that file back in 2022 and was selling them on his website. So I wonder if they're possibly similar. They look like a 4-sided dice, and you just roll the different sides.
Yeah, they're very similar. They're definitely. I think that they're either an adaptation of an idea that he's already seen, obviously, or his own on there. I don't know about that, but they're very cool, very useful out there. So, and then we had a whole bunch of stickers we gave away, which I hope you all have seen our cool stickers.
Yeah, they're sick.
Best stickers out there. We just love.
Totally agree. Stained glass rules.
Absolutely. I'll be sending you some men. So
ooh, can't wait
with the shirts. So and then we had everyone got their shirts at the event, which was incredible.
Those are some sick shirts.
Oh man, we're gonna do another run with a new colorway here soon. I'm super hyped about. Red to like yellow fade. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do something similar for LVO.
I can't wait to see it, man. So, but yeah, it was just crazy event. Shay came in with an Inquisitor costume that looked just like the Dawn of War Inquisitor.
Who did the art for your T-shirt?
The art for the T-shirt was done by Alex Kindred. He's a tattooer out of Ontario, Canada, I believe. But I asked around to some places and to see, I wanted that like grim, dark death metal vibe. Because our whole last season of Kill Team was themed around the band Bolt Thrower, which if you're not familiar with them, they used to play shows and have like Games Workshop like booth at it where they'd sell miniatures and stuff like that. Like their whole first album's about 40K and Warhammer.
Oh, nice.
So like great stuff. Like I associate it through and through with 40K. So, and they have great songs for names of events. So that was the theme for last year, but this year it's going to be wrestling. We're doing 90s, WWF,
Ooh.
WCW, NWO wrestling theme for the whole next year. So
That's cool, man.
So if I just don't show up, I can just say I was like themed as John Cena because you can't see me.
You gotta come up and do the hand thing in front of your face.
There you go. All right. Fair enough. All right. No, that's amazing. I'm very looking forward to that. Is there anyone that inspired you to do that, or?
I just like to keep it fresh and weird. I think that you can run with the theme for like a while, but like if you have a new season, why not mix it up? So I just think that I think wrestling's there's a lot of spectacle to it, and I want to maybe bring a little bit more spectacle to the events this year. Have some weird themes and weird events and stuff like that. We got our first year out of the way. Our baby teeth are gone, hopefully, and we're on to chewing real food.
Nice.
Now. So.
Yeah, we for our shirts, we also got a tattooer, but here local in LA, his name is Dylan Eves.
Right.
He won the best painted for the Forged Brush, which is the Squad Games biggest painting award. He won best singular model. Yeah, so he's designing something up for us, but to see the art, everyone who's listening will have to wait and see for it.
So Dylan actually did our new logo.
Did he?
We haven't. We just premiered. So awesome.
Where's
guy.
that at?
Love him. It's just on our stickers and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
We don't. Our web presence is almost non-existent. But when we have,
killing me.
We're working on it, man. Baby steps. Look, we just got our teeth. We haven't learned how to talk.
Okay, got it.
Yet.
Well,
so
I'm waiting for the Kill Team Cascadia podcast. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh man, we'll get to that at some point. Maybe we got a lot on our plate. I
mean, you guys are already. I mean, this is essentially the Cascadia podcast. The past few weeks.
Absolutely, I've been on here over the past 2 months 3 times. It's a lot. So, but I'm always happy to be here. I love you guys.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
We love our brothers from the north,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Soon we'll just, wrap all of California into Cascadia, and then the rest of the United States will secede from the rest of the world.
There we go.
But yeah, we're calling the format we did, our weirdo format, the Cascadia format, which is 3 rounds and then a cut with a narrative from there on. So,
okay.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to copy it, call it the Cascadia format.
The Cascadia cut.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that should be. I mean, that should be pretty fun. The thing that I want to ask is, you guys look like you guys had people dress up for your event too. Is there any specific person that you want to shout out for a cosplay that they did at your guys' event?
Yeah, I did shout out Shay. She was dressed as the Inquisitor. killed it. Absolutely
amazing. Yeah.
Look, just like I said, just like the Inquisitor on there.
That was awesome.
You know, we got some photos of her. Well, Zach did, of her with the sword. And then Yuli came out dressed as the Admech. So we were blessed by both the Omnissiah and the Emperor at this event. You know, ordained by the Ordo. Tony came out as Danny DeVito from It's All.
Oh, that rules, dude.
It was great. You know, he walked around and gave all of our tables a nice critique. You know, derivative trash, stuff like that. So it was wonderful. We had gentlemen dressed up as Bob from Bob Burgers. Gosh, there's more that I probably can't think of at the moment. So much going on during the day.
And your sword was specifically the Lich King's sword from World of Warcraft, right?
It was intellectually
Frostborn?
property distinct. Similar to, yes, but it was a Frostmourne replica. We wanted to get something really chaotic since it was like a death metal theme, and like really, what's more chaotic than the Frostmourne sword?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't find something that looks more like a 40k sword out there.
Yeah. So specifically, you're probably not going to be giving out a sword next year. I'm guessing you're going to be giving away a wrestling belt,
A big championship belt, absolutely.
Very nice.
We're gonna go with a really big one too. So.
And a token tray from me, and probably some other stuff.
I hope so. I hope that you're there competing for the belt, and you get to award yourself your own token tray.
I will give someone else the token tray if I win the token.
If it's going to say champion on it, you can only give it to yourself.
I'll just say, hey, I'll just I'd be like, hey, bro, just take this, and I'll send you a new lid. I don't want another one. I have too many. No, that's exciting. That's super cool. I'm glad that you guys had a great turnout. A lot of good people came out to your guys' event. I've been talking to a lot of people in Southern California, and you know, there's a lot of people that are planning to go to Killscream next year. So I hope you get a bigger venue because I'm going to be bringing a large crowd.
Well, we're going for 128, and Ben, I better see you out here next year too.
Man, I'm telling you, the only reason I wasn't there is because Tampa was the same weekend, and my boss at Warp Fire bought the tickets like months and months ago, and I was already locked in. It's the only reason I wasn't there. So as long as because they're going to be doing GW will be back in Tampa next year. So as long as it's not that same weekend, man, I am there, dude. I'll sleep on somebody's floor. Don't even care. I got to be there.
We got you covered. So we will find a place for you to stay, Ben.
I'll be there, dude. Count me in. You got 65 next year. Count me in.
We're 128, no less. So
hell yeah. And then I want to see your guys all and girls from Cascadia come down to the All Valley. So it should be a blast to have two big events on the West Coast. So
absolutely. So I mean, like we're already sending 2 people down there from our event minimum. You know, Connor, our sportsmanship, he's going to be coming down there, and then Brandon. And so that, I mean, like those are 2 Cats members, and I can't let them go without me.
Absolutely.
So that's minimum 3 of us, and then I know we're bringing more.
Absolutely.
Bunch of feral cats on the loose.
Gotta love it. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is, Ben, I would love to hear about your painted and how you painted up your team, because they are beautiful. Fellas, have you guys seen these models? Good.
I have. They're incredible.
Oh, thank you guys.
So
good.
Walk me through the OSL effect on your melted wall on your
image. Yeah, man. It's I tell you what, felt real good. Like so just being considered is like feels good, right? So I was really gunning for best painted, and at the end of day 1, a lot of the judges came around and told folks like, hey, you're being considered, would you please put out your models? Nobody told me that. And so at the end of day 1, I was feeling like, man, I really swung for it, but guess we didn't even get considered. That's a bummer. And so I'm walking by and I'm looking at everybody's painted models, like, man, it looks good. Man, it looks good. Like everybody's doing such a good job. And I come to an empty spot on the table, and there's a little card on the table, and whose name is on that card? My name is on that card. And I got so happy because I thought I wasn't even being considered. And then I saw my slot there. Just nobody told me that I needed to put them out. So I ran, put them out. And so it felt real good. But yeah, the OSL and all that stuff. I had a couple of people ask me if it was, airbrushed, and I don't have an airbrush. So it's all good old fashioned brush work and just patience, layers and patience, man. That's what it takes. Glazing and glazing and glazing till you don't want to see another glaze in your life, but you got to do it.
I appreciate the effort. I'm looking at it again, and it is really wonderful to look at that melted part.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, man. Yeah, there's like some dry brushing in there as well. Like people look at dry brushing and think that it's like a cheat, and it totally is. But people also think dry brushing is like chalky finishes and stuff like that. Doesn't have to be. Like Artist Opus, like that channel is, does dry brushing stuff that makes you question your whole life. Like, wow, he can do it with a dry brush, and so. As long as you like thin things down, so there's like a little bit of dry brushing in there as well for some of the OSL, but mostly just paints, glazes, layers, working up patience. Man, that's what it takes, and so pretty happy with it, man. Feels real good.
I want to tangent just a second with something you said, Ben. I hate when people say stuff is cheating in art. How do you cheat an expression of something that you want to convey?
Totally.
Miniatures. I think that like miniatures in one way are kind of like a lot of people's entry into obtainable art. A lot of people who consider themselves unartistic when they started start playing with paint and painting miniatures and really find out it's something they enjoy. I think of it as like lowbrow art in a lot of ways. So
if I ever go to a GW tournament, I'll have to bring Striking Scorpions because my vet guard is not allowed. Did they also not allow 3D printed like bits on your terrain and bases and stuff? Or because they're very strict about some stuff. So
I was curious about this myself, Dakotah. There was, I think, out of the best painted, I think there was 2 that I noticed that had some 3D printed elements to it, and they were considered. So, don't know the rules on that, but all my stuff was 100% GW, and what wasn't 100% GWs was 100% Ben Campbell because I sculpted it with green stuff. So
nice,
very nice.
So yes, I was just trying to be like extra safe. It's like, okay, since I'm going, I get to go. I'm like very, very lucky that through my job, I get to go to these events. So it's the only way I can afford the hotel and all this kind of stuff is because I get to go through Warp Fire. I'm very lucky to do that. And so I was like,
thank you, Warp Fire.
Yeah, man, they're awesome. I worked there. They were awesome before I worked there. They're even awesomer now that I work there. So pretty cool. We'll be going. That's how I'm getting to LVO this year is through Warp Fire. So I was like, man, if I'm getting to go, there's no way I'm going to get disqualified. So I was like 100% GW, and all my guys are kit bashed, converted using every single Chaos Space Marine infantry kit and some character kits on the market. And they'd some like,
I could see Fabulous Bill in there, his shoulder pad at least.
That's actually a 3D. That's actually my own hand sculpting that. Actually, sir. Nice. Thank you. That see, it makes me feel good. I'm glad you thought it was that.
Definitely looks like that.
Yeah, thank you,
metal
man.
Model shoulder pad.
Yep. Yeah, that is a Ben Campbell green stuff original. Just trying my best. So feels good. Thank you, man.
Question. Your weathering on your display. Now, did you use any dirty down on that, or did you specifically use a pigment, or did you use just a wash
on the display
oil?
Itself?
Yeah, in between the little cracks on your Mortalis.
Yeah, board. So that was just on the board. Let me think. That so on the display still needs quite a bit of work. I'll tell you that much because we're bringing it to LVO, and it's not finished. This was phase 1 of getting it to a place where I was comfortable putting it out. So it still needs to be finished. This is not its final form. But
you can see a lot of it in picture 3 that you sent me.
Picture 3. Let me gently pull that up without exploding my microphone. Mm-hmm. I don't want to shift too hard. But yeah, it's all glazes. There is no Every model has an oil wash situation, but for the terrain itself, that's just glazes and just turning paint into sort of a wash situation. And yeah, it's just glazing and patience, and I see like some of the cracks. I had an accident with some varnish, and so some of the white in the cracks.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's just an accident. It's a straight up accident.
Well, it looks fucking
with varnish.
great.
It worked, man. I was like, you know what? We'll take it. We'll take this. Florida humidity really effed me, but I was like, you know what? We'll just take it. We're gonna make this work.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about your base is your varnish accident.
Well, thanks, man. That rules. It feels good.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys wanted to shout about your events before we move on to the final part of our podcast?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Tristan Cruzen, who did the incredible orc display board on there, which was just crazy. We had a lot of really crazy boards there. So he won our best painted overall there for that. And I think that's the last person that I needed to shout out. Ryder also won our bounty board.
How did this Space Marine did you have best display? Because I really liked the your Phobos players
Me too,
display
man.
board.
That was awesome.
Crashing through.
Chris Fritz he knocked it out of the park. It was really hard to decide. Really, there were so many incredible display boards. And I think that when we got together, there was a lot of debate about which one to select on there, and we really couldn't choose. And it was I think that one person came in with a tiebreaker on it on their personal opinion is really what it was. So when we were all kind of going there, it was probably like
the Casterkin one's also very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Chuck's.
Don't think I see your orcs on disregardingdice.com.
He didn't get them on the Disregarding Dice, but you should be in my photo dump there.
Okay.
Yeah, Phobos one really blew me away. That was the one that I saw that really stood out.
Yeah, absolutely. The Phobos one is incredible, especially the photos that Zach took of it they're mind-blowing there. It was just so many good entries. I think we had like 10, 15 display boards.
Oh, overall. The orc one with the backdrop and the green puddle.
Yeah, lit up, changed colors, it was pretty wild. Each of the orcs was like slightly off color from each other. They're each their own skin tone. My photography skills are not up to capture the greatness that was that. So, yeah, really good stuff.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So moving on to the last part of there's something else that happened this weekend.
Oh man.
And
do you guys want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Yes, geez, tell us.
I saw Exorcist Believer. That's what also happened this week.
How was it?
It was mid. But also what happened was Warhammer Day.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's
what else was little mid? Oh no!
Oh yeah,
no,
it kind of was. Hey, I think we got one of the coolest models in a long time.
Calm
we got
down.
one of the coolest models in a long time, in my opinion.
Which would
I'm only memeing a little bit. Everything was fine except for one thing, which I'm sure we'll get to.
I don't know. I think it was all pretty. I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay, well, tell us your thought.
Yeah, you go first.
You go first.
So I feel like these two teams are kind of they just phoned it in. I'm a huge Eldar fan.
Get out of here.
No. So, and I
Get out of here.
These other kits that have come in the
I'm
starting.
going to write you in my Eldar book.
Yeah, I'm going in the Grudge. Hey, I'm an Eldar player too, man. The Striking Scorpions are the second models I bought like 28 years ago. Okay. So
all right, fair enough.
The models are incredible for the Striking Scorpions. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like the teams have been phoned in. It looks like mostly just the same scout models we've already seen. It doesn't really look like they're too special for kill team, as opposed to Navy Breachers or the way that the crew came out with all of their customizations and stuff like that. And then just by the very nature of Aspect Warriors, they're all the same. So they're not going to have specialists.
They're all special themselves, my friend.
I mean, like, yeah, they are. But, I think that they are going to have some cool mechanics with it, which we can talk about how I think that's going to go a little bit later. But like, I just think it's like a really, really phoned in. It doesn't feel as cool as a lot of what we've seen. And it feels like two 40K squads shoved into a kill team box.
That's my biggest thing, man, is it again, I try to be as positive as I can about this stuff, but it does feel a little bit like, oop, 240K units.
Yes,
that's it.
That is true.
Like, I thought Striking Scorpions would have at least gotten like an upgrade sprue so they could have something. Like, the scouts, I figured they're just going to be scouts, nothing else.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'll accept what they got.
And I'm sure the rules will flesh a lot of this out. Like, I'm we know the kill team rules team is crushing it. So, like, they get these models, from what I understand, like, just looking at it, they figure this stuff out, and they have done in my opinion, like, just a killer job. So I'm sure the rules are going to be great, but just looking at it from the reveal, it's like, ooh, we'll have to see. We don't know any rules yet. So that's the biggest piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, we'll do some speculation here pretty soon. All right. So I'll give my G, why don't you give your thoughts and then I'll give mine.
On the entire day or on just the teams?
Just the teams. We can talk about, we're all going to talk about the terrain, and then we can talk about the 40K reveals if you guys want. They're part of it.
Technically are. I enjoy the new sculpts for Striking Scorpions, even though realistically it's probably on a sprue of 5 that you're going to get twice. So you're going to have some kind of repeat poses.
Absolutely.
Same thing with scouts.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. It could have been cooler, but they also did mention that for Blades of Cain, it's not just Striking Scorpions.
Sure.
Correct.
So at least there's that. Now, the one thing I sort of don't always love about this kind of thing, at least in the Phobos situation, you can make them all look pretty cohesive. And I guess you could paint all your Aspect Warriors in one kind of color to put them under one banner.
No, you can't. You're not
but that's exactly. If you go lore wise, they're very different each time. So
I want to paint them all to match now, just to give Dakotah an aneurysm.
I would die while you were painting. While you were priming, I would have an aneurysm.
Like, because that's the thing. I know you're going to see like green scorpions, and you're going to see like
you could see black
banshees.
Scorpions. There's other scorpion colors, but in order
only
to
green. Come on, second edition, old school only for
green
Eldar.
or die. No, someone's going to paint them orange, and it's going to look badass.
There are some other cool schemes I've seen, but in sticking to, unless if you're going Dawn of War style, even Dawn of War, they're not like the Howling Banshees are still like a different color than everything else, but they are still they're still within the same spectrum, but they're not like bone. You know what I mean? Like
aesthetically, they're going to match because they're Eldar aesthetic, but color wise, you're going to be like, this is kind of like a lot, and it's not the intended thing they're going for. Like when someone paints them to be different, but it kind of works because it's the intention. In this sense, you could just have like one Banshee, 4 Scorpions, and let's say the rest are, what did they say? Was Dire Avengers, right? Was the last one?
Yeah.
And then you just have a bunch of Dire Avengers. So it's like, you can have this kind of weird mix of those sort of things. And I don't know, it's going to probably play fine. And I'm sure the team will be fine. It's just when I look at it first, I'll be a little weirded out.
Yeah. Power Rangers.
Yeah, but like when you do Power Rangers, that's like a theme and it fits because it's all one thing, you know?
I've essentially already painted a Power Rangers team for commission.
Yes.
Hopefully he's not listening to this. Okay. So I really like the Striking Scorpions. I'm not the biggest fan of all their poses, so I'll probably heavily customize certain things. They remind me of second edition Striking Scorpions where they're very pointy. They want to do different things, but they're not nearly as bad as second edition Striking Scorpions.
They look like they were designed years ago to me.
They probably were, I think. I think that they've probably been sitting on certain Eldar models probably for a while. Because I highly doubt that they're constantly doing things. I think that their whole team probably goes through one thing and then the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah.
But they
takes a long time to develop.
Yeah. I think they probably hold stuff off in order to, later on. A unifying element, G, is usually weapons. Usually all the weapons are always painted very similarly in armies, so that kind of ties aspects together.
I got that.
I also like the fact that they're getting Yanari heads so that you could have striking scorpions with like skin, because I love painting skin, but I also like the pure helmets. So that should be pretty fun. The fact that we can get the brand new Howling Banshees and the old Dire Avengers, well, they're not super old. They're probably the next most updated kit comparatively.
The Banshees are great, man. Like, I'm excited to run some Banshees. Like that would be my, again, not knowing any of the rules, those models just do it for me.
Oh yeah, dude. Boobies are great. One thing I am sad though is I don't see any female striking scorpions, and I'm not sure why, because I don't think that it's a male dominated aspect. So that's probably the thing I'm mostly sad about, is that there's no female bodies. I mean, it could be, they could be on the sprue, but
are there male banshees?
No, there are no male banshees, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like striking scorpions is a.
There are male banshees now in the lore, and
is
so
there?
yes,
oh really?
And I believe that like if a female Eldar takes the striking scorpion path or aspect, once they put on the armor, like, it's just like a chest binder, probably. Like,
See that?
Oh yeah, I could just press against it.
Yeah, I think that, because like even the male banshees often wear like armor with sculpted breasts in the lore. So
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it has more to do with like the tradition than anything,
That's
which
cool.
is very, very Eldar.
Opens it up, yeah.
For the scouts, other than the knee pads, I really love how dynamic all of the poses are. To me, they're some of the most dynamic and interesting looking Space Marines. I was converting a bunch of Goliath Necromunda guys into Space Marines. I still might do that and just take their arms and make them all like super Chad buff dudes, with the guns.
Look better than those the sleeves.
Yeah, that's true. But I do like the poses quite a lot. So let's move on.
Yeah, I'm all about the scouts. I agree.
Yeah.
I think they look awesome. I have no clue what the rules would be. Like, oh man, because they're not Phobos. Like, what's their thing going to be? Don't know. But I really love the models. But bummed for the same reason. Like, it's going to be a 2-pack of 5s. You're going to have the same sculpts, but I think they look incredible. Scouts, I love the old scouts. It was a guilty pleasure for me, and these guys just look so good. So, really excited to see the rules, and I might give them a try. We'll see.
Okay. Now, you better turn them into chaos, Ben.
Oof, I'll have to really, really put on the moves for that one.
So, how about the terrain? Let's talk about the terrain that was previewed and done.
Oh no, my brothers in Christ. Oh no.
It's
no.
It feels like it plays better with the narrative.
That's the only way I can imagine it. Look at those 3D objectives.
Yeah.
There.
Right.
How are you supposed
Are
to?
those objectives? Is that what
They
those are?
Those are objectives. How are you supposed to get within 2 inches of that if it's on a little platform in the middle of the ocean? And
How's a Gellerpox supposed to get to it?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you even jump as far as some of the platforms are placed apart? Like,
I highly doubt these are the layouts. I think that this is just a product picture. I guarantee you all of those bits are going to be inside the ocean so that they're a lot closer together.
You could make some of these jumps. You got 6 inches.
You can jump a whole 6 inches. I thought you could only jump a certain
3 inches.
Oh shoot! Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I mean, but that could
Maybe
all be
you can't make,
changed
one
for
of
this.
these jumps,
Like this setting could make changes to all that.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, no way this could be like. I tried to think about it in my brain, which is how most people think about things, I guess. But how it's late for me, guys. I'm exhausted here. How could this possibly be competitive?
I don't know if it will be.
It
It's
doesn't.
very
It
weird.
Can't be, right? Which is fine. Like it could be a narrative thing, but man, tell us, please. Give us the information, please, GW.
Go ahead, G.
In one of the pictures you see the generic square that has like give or take 18 inches, 18 by 12 maybe. of the water, right? And you see another image that's flipped that has kind of like the circular part. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a double-sided board.
Oh, it definitely will be.
I think they said it was.
Okay, so they did? I might have missed that. Which is good because that looks like it has like a middle part where you could probably put an objective normally and then put something that actually can play a little more competitively. Now, it's very vantage heavy though, because that's kind of what you're doing in this sort of format. It seems very vantage heavy. We need bridges.
I mean, without seeing the rules, I'm not a big fan of this. I think I talked to Bands earlier today from Australia to get the lowdown on the Australian tournaments. He was saying that he thinks that this will be a really good addition to Knockman and actually make Knockman competitive and viable, which I could see.
That's interesting.
I think that that's definitely something that could happen. I think that the set by itself, with a couple extra pieces, could be really good for Kill Team. Like I could easily see this mixed with some Into the Dark terrain for an open board being amazing.
I've still got to try that. I know you've been talking about that, Dakotah. I got to give that a try.
It's really good. I'll send you some layouts.
Please do. Yeah.
I post them up on KTC also.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's really a really good. I think that there's things about this that are amazing. I'm just not a big fan of the ocean in the middle.
Yeah, man. Nobody wants this Waterworld Garbo. Like
Kevin Costner.
Yeah. What is this, man? Again, rules. It could be so much fun, but good Lord Almighty, what
I'm hoping that they just like release another terrain set here with the next box also. It's actually interesting, maybe. They're like, oh, well, this part of the planet's all ocean. But like we got this little island over here and it's lava. Similar, but different.
I'm thinking the way they're releasing the box set where it's the team and the terrain, it's going to be this entire terrain until another big box set.
Agreed.
And then they're just going to release like little not update pieces, little narrative pieces with each new team they release. So I think this is it.
So I definitely think that like at LVO we're going to have an actual narrative board that will actually build with actual water in the middle and to make it really cool, and actually have like an elevated platform above it. So should be fun, should be exciting, should be cool. We'll see how it plays. If not, if we don't get the rules, soon I'll make some up for the narrative event. But yeah, I think that there's going to be some redeeming aspects about it. We have no idea about the rules or the state of it. Because even like some of these small platforms, can they even support a model if it's hanging off the edge?
Yeah.
You sure can't do a metal model, I bet you, and some of my striking scorpions are metal. So
buy the plastic ones, Dakotah.
I will, Giacomo. I have a problem. Don't encourage me.
No, I will.
You're just going to need to get an industrial laser cutter, even bigger one, and cut it out of metal so we can all just magnetize our models and just like stick it. No, listen, you guys, we've community patched the bad map with Dakotah. He's laser cut us a bunch of 15-pound boards.
He's mailing them out to everybody.
He's mailing them out to everyone. Unfortunately, they're $800. He's got to pay for that laser, but we're magnetizing all our models and they can hang as far off ledges as you can get them.
That's pretty good. I tell you what I will say is the one thing that I love the fact that the box has no terrain in it. The two teams has no terrain. Mm-hmm. If that's like...
No, it does. It just has really weird terrain.
Well, just like this little scatter pieces. Like that's not like an actual terrain set.
Right.
If it's like somewhere like $100, $120, that's a huge win. Like that is super cool. If it's like $150, $160, it's a bad time. Yeah. But if it's around $100 for two teams, some new tokens, new cards, whatever those are, like that would be sweet. Because like a $200 box, $180 box, like dude, like times are wild. Like that's a lot of money. But $100, that's way more doable for a lot of folks. Like way easier to split with a friend. Like so, I'm curious to see if it is a more affordable option compared to the other boxes, or are they going to be the bad guys? Because the bad guys at GWs are the business boys, and we'll see if they're going to be good guys or bad guys.
So I think it's going to come in about the same prices as Warcry boxes. It makes sense. Similar products, similar amount of terrain, stuff like that. So I think those are right at 120, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. Where you split the two.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of good too, because you're also, like Ben mentioned, you get the accessories too.
Yeah.
And those accessories alone are like $30.
Yeah.
And you're getting two.
And you also don't have to buy the crappy terrain 4 times.
And at least salvation isn't something weird, you know? Like some other Inceptor term. No, but I want to do a little bit of speculation, and since you guys know Eldar a little bit, I want to see what you guys think about the rules that I crafted for Eldar, and see what you guys think.
It's got to be rending, right? Just going to be rending city, like rending everywhere, all over the place.
For Dire Avengers especially. So I don't think Dire Avengers are going to change very much. You're going to get one additional Dire Avenger. I think they're already pretty okay. They get the never get -1 to Overwatch and Guard, which is nice. 4 attacking on 3s, 3/4 damage, balanced, and rending weapons. The Dire Avenger Exarch, I think is going to change. I really hope that the Exarchs get 3 APL compared to the rest of the team having 2 APL. I don't know if that'll happen. Just my guess. And the Dire Avenger Exarchs will probably have the exact same stat line as you see in the compendium, except for one specific thing. So for striking scorpions. So 3 APL. So they'd have 3, 2-inch moves. Everything else is the same for the Dire Avengers, in my opinion, except for the twin catapults. When you get to hold the 2 catapults, you would be able to. So in the thing, it says like, oh, use 2 APL and you get to shoot twice, or it always has relentless. But the problem is he doesn't have a melee weapon. So firstly, give him fists. Secondly, let the Dire Avenger Exarch with the double cannons be able to fire twice no matter what. So with 1 APL both times to make him more interesting. And then what I would love to see is a 1 CP stratagem for Dire Avenger models to pay 1 CP and 1 model gets to shoot 1 additional time.
Yeah, that little tac ploy situation, like sort of how we have it for legionaries. I wonder if it's going to be that way, where you have a tac ploy that affects your banshees, tac ploy that affects your Scorpos, stuff like that. Like that would be pretty interesting. Like probably, sort of how the legionary marks handle it. That would be kind of interesting. That's what I've been thinking. Yeah.
So I'm very similar. I'm thinking we're headed the same way, Ben. I think what it's going to be is you're going to get like a bonus based on the Exarch you pick for the team, and
that's what they said.
There, you're going to unlock more bonuses. So like you're going to take like Exarch's going to be, say, like Striking Scorpion. If you take 6 Striking Scorpions, you get another bonus. And if you take 9, you get another bonus.
I'm pretty sure in the video they said if you take 9, if you take a whole team of Striking Scorpions, you get a buff. If you take a whole team of Howling Banshees, you get a buff. All Dire Avengers, you get a certain buff. If you take a mixed, you get a buff. So a different buff.
It is like it, yeah.
So it's not like, it won't be like some upgrading, escalating thing. I think that's too complicated.
Could be. I mean, like, like tiered stuff. I think could be possible. Could be interesting.
So my idea for Banshees are that I think they're going to have the same movement, 6-inch moves, but I think their special ability, rather than never overwatching or guarding on a -1, I think their thing would be that they just get +1 to move and charge. So they'd have a 7-inch move and a 11-inch charge. Threat range, at least.
Yeah,
I think they're always going to fight first.
Yes. And that's the other thing. They will always fight first. And I think that their CP thing will be like pay 1 CP, choose a model, and that model has -1 APL for controlling an objective.
Oh, so you're talking about a team of Shrive Talons is what you're talking about.
Basically.
Yes.
I think that might be pretty wrong. It might be
all 9
stratagem.
Dude, like if it's all 9, I think that's too much. Good God.
Maybe a strategic play.
So what's interesting about Banshees is that's always been their lore. Their lore has always been that they always fight first because of their Howling Banshee masks. So
it's got to be a CP to put up, and they can do it.
Yeah, it could be. I can see that.
It could be, or it could be anytime. Well, no, it doesn't matter if they charge or not. In the most recent edition, it's always been like no matter what, even if they get charged, doesn't matter. They've like that's their special rule has always been we fight first, which is fascinating. And
team wide, that's gross. That's worse than Felgor, straight up, dude. That's worse than on launch Felgor.
I'm really worried about Aspect Warriors potentially being overtuned. There's a lot of room. Aspect Warriors are like Space Marine strength in the lore.
They are,
like they're no joke. And they're probably going to give the models similar rules to 40K. It usually transitions over.
Yeah, got to keep that flavor.
Yeah, you got to keep that flavor. And 9 Aspect Warriors is, that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Their weapons, if you look at Void Dancers, 5 attacks, power weapons hitting on 3s, 4, 6 damage, lethal 5s.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty gross. My guess for the Exarch always comes with 2 different weapons. One weapon is the double mirror swords, which would be 5 attacks hitting on 2s.
Relentless 6. Power weapons.
Yeah, basically. And then the Executioner, which I think would be 4 attacks hitting on 3s and would do 5-7 damage and have brutal. Similar to like a power fist. So that's kind of how they've always functioned in editions past. So that would be my guess. And I would assume that if you would take all of them together, maybe they get to ignore Traversable because of their acrobatics. That would be my guess on them as a team if you would just bring them alone as a team. I have no idea otherwise. Do you guys have any ideas of what their bonus would be if you just brought all Howling Banshees?
Maybe
I don't know, man. Rending all over the place.
Give every model rending.
That's gonna be crazy.
Lethal 5+ rending. What are you trying to do here, Ben?
Yeah, like with fight
always strikes first.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I already think they're overpowered. Why just give them 12-inch charges? Who cares?
This is where
if everybody's fighting first. This is Crazy Town. We're living in Crazy Town, USA.
For real,
you just got to play like the cops with the shields now and let them come to you. It's fine. Just block twice after you get hit.
I'm ready. I'm ready for them to be powerful against the meta. I'm ready for RBGs.
They can arrest them.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if all of them will fight first. Maybe they'll have terror and they just minus 1 APL from everyone instead, because it does seem a little busted. Which would be still pretty good for the team. Maybe it is just a CP to fight first. That would be interesting. You could do it to any model. So
yeah, that feels a little more in line with how Kill Team does things. But maybe they're going off the rails. Who knows? Kill Team under the sea, off the rails.
Yeah, well, what we've seen, we rarely see any team that is balanced at launch. They're either underpowered or overpowered usually, right? And like the underpowered teams Higher Tech Circle's still not in a great spot, and they've been out for almost a year. They're better, and same with Karsakin. It took them at least 8 or 9 months to get to a good spot. So they're either going to be good or they're going to be bad, in my opinion. When you move to Striking Scorpions, these ones are interesting. The most interesting idea-wise for me is because I think that both Dire Avengers and Howling Banshees are going to have some kind of move shenanigans. You're either going to be able to like move, shoot, and then dash with Dire Avengers. Like maybe that's their faction special rules. Like if you take all Dire Avengers, and Howling Banshees just get to like the extra charge. You know what I mean? Striking Scorpions, I don't think are going to get any movement shenanigans because they never have in the past. They are just super stealthy. So they might get like one sneaky get as a team if you take all Striking Scorpions. That would be
Why not 3? Why stop at 1? Let's give them 3.
We know
why.
We nerfed Commandos, but here's Striking Scorpions. Still the winter of green.
Now they got to have the rending, right? That's going to be 5 attacks on 3s, 4-5 rending. Got to be, right? They got to have rend.
It might be 4-5.
I think that they're going to get 5 attacks, 4-5 damage, and then they'll have balanced. I don't think they'll get rending.
I can see balanced.
I think their Mandablasters are going to do something.
I think their Mandablasters are going to get either a free shot in close combat, so you get 1 free attack from the Mandy Blaster when you're attacking, or they just auto mortal wound when you charge.
Yeah.
Mortal wound
Now,
like 1.
Auto wound and charge seems
Mortal
really
wound
rough.
on a roll of like
6.
3+, 4+. Yeah.
I'm not an elf person here. Like Drakari are cool, but aside from that, I'm not a big elf guy. So help me out. Do all of them get the Manda Blasters, or is it just the Exarch? They all get it?
Every single Striking Scorpion comes with a Manda Blaster.
So it wouldn't be an equipment thing. So they just get it.
Yeah. And Manda Blasters have always been in the past. Essentially, when you would charge, all the models would do 1 damage to the enemy models automatically because like they come in shooting their little Manda Blasters.
I like the idea that they would be able to shoot, like maybe it wouldn't be super powerful, like maybe AP1, 2-3 or AP1, 2-2, but you can shoot into combat.
That could be cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're stuck, you just shoot.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd have equipment, would you? I can't think of.
I think
out
that
of like spirit stuff.
I think all of them will get some kind of equipment for sure. Like the Dire Avengers could. I think the Dire Avengers, another buff that team would need to make them viable. Sorry, going backwards. Is instead of giving them fists, just auto give them all the weaponized canopies, which is they're like little shoulder blasters in melee, and they'd be they're the same as in the compendium. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, 3/4 damage. So it's just like Space Marine fist. Space Marine
that makes sense.
So those are like an equipment that are already in the compendium that could go back into this team or be auto included.
Probably, right?
Yeah, for Striking Scorpions, I have the hardest time thinking about. So I think if you take all of them together, I think another thing that might be interesting is if they auto retain an extra 1 dice from cover because they're supposed to be super stealthy, and I don't know how else to make a stealthy team stealthy without, like, maybe that's a 1 CP thing that they can do similar to what orcs can do or something like that. But I mean, Space Marines get that, just they're stealthy, right? Like I just looked at some of the Space Marine stuff and I was like, oh, I'll take that one. Oh, I'll take that. You know, like +1 charge, +1 move, plus, you know, I was like, what already exists in Kill Team that we can steal from? But the Exarch has 2 special weapons, and I don't know how they'll run.
The lobster claw, baby. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
The Scorpion's Claw, which has always been a power fist, and then they have like a sword, right? So probably hitting on 2s with the sword. Power Claw is probably just a power weapon with a full-on shooken catapult on his fist. But the Biting Blade is my favorite weapon of all aspects. The Biting Blade has always been like exploding 6s, where if you roll a 6, you get a hit again, or like it gives you additional attacks.
Oh, so mortals?
It could do, maybe it does mortals. Maybe it does like Mortal Wounds 2 or something like that, or Reap or Brutal or something, but it's like a giant chainsaw. And I don't know what the profile would be. What do you guys think the profile would be?
5'7" with probably brutal.
So like
so both weapons.
Yeah, the Eviscerator is what I was.
Yeah, kind of.
What does the Eviscerator do?
No, I bet the claw is not going to be 5'7". I bet the claw will be 5'6" with a special rule.
Okay.
Right, where it's not unwieldy or something, so
it'll
hit on like 2s instead of what normally you'd have on the 3 with a power fist.
Maybe Mortal Wounds with the claw. Cool, you know. But I think the chainsword, like the big chainsword, is definitely like basically Eviscerator from the Penitent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what is that profile?
5'7", brutal, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Melee plasma.
Okay. Melee plasma is always a great thing to have.
Imagine if it hits
and give it rending. There we go.
Gets to remove one of your opponent's hits.
Oh yeah, dude. I bet the lobster claw will be 5'6" rending. That's my guess.
Okay, I could see that.
Okay.
Just
so
popping people's heads off with it.
Hit instead of this one, depending on what kind of thing you're fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it does have like a reap, and so you take the reap on that one, or you might take the claw and do the thing.
So I have no idea what else the Striking Scorpions would have for their special, or taking all 3. Do you guys have any thoughts or ideas of what the Striking Scorpions would come with, or like as a full team of 9? or like all 3 teams like divvied up however they may be?
First thing that comes to mind is Legionary style, where if you are all Banshees, you get a Banshee ploy for free in the strategic phase or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Fight first. Got it.
Yeah, screw that.
I could see that. If you take them all, you get a CP for free every round, something that normally costs. And then if you take all mixed, then maybe you get that CP one for free, whatever
like
that may be.
Undivided situation like Legionaries thing would be undivided. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that could be cool. I'd be down with that. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm still feeling it's going to be the buffs, like is what they're doing. I don't know. In my gut, I feel like it's going to be you get 1 buff for the leader and then 1 buff based on how many you get. I don't know. I think they're going to get weird with it because, like, I can't.
Interesting.
You know, I think that like striking.
The XRs are always going to have at least one additional rule that makes
right. Yeah, but I think it's going to be like a team-wide buff. Like you're going to see like. So do you remember how like Drakari in Kill Team 18, they would like each turn they'd get an extra buff. So it's going to be like that. Like if you take, like I said, 3 of 1, you're going to get 1 buff. Or well, you'll take the XR and then 3 of that one, and then basically it's like you have like tiered. So it's like if you took 9 striking scorpions, you get buff number 1, 2, 3. You know, and if you only took 6 of them, you get buff 1 and 2. You know,
another interesting idea is I doubt they would do this because I think it would be one of them. Oh, actually, Space Marines did it. When you take striking scorpions, perhaps you're right. Maybe there is like 3 different abilities that they could take. And then if you take all 9 striking scorpions, you get all 3 abilities. But if you only take 1, you get just 1 of the abilities. That could be interesting.
I think it's going to be tied to whatever your Exarch is, like what type of Exarch you get for the first one, and then whatever the bulk of your army is. I think that they're going to encourage you to take like a primary force of like mostly one thing, and then partial another.
Oh, it's going to be so hard. I just love each one of these models.
And then I think that they will probably do also a separate bonus where you get like 1 of each, like the level 1, if you take 1 of each, you know?
Interesting. Yeah.
So I think it would be like a good way to kind of like mix up and make them feel special. So it's like the more dire Avengers you have working together, the better their teamwork, the more abilities they unlock.
Yeah, we can all agree. If you field a mixed team for these guys, you're a fake elf fan. We could just all agree on that because that would never happen. So you must not
would
be a
you
true
be a
fan.
real elf fan because you own all those models?
No.
I own 30 of all
nerds,
these models.
Elf nerds go hard about aspect warriors locking into one thing. Like if you feel the mixed unit, then you're a fake elf fan. That's what I say.
What if you had to take like one of each aspect warrior? So like you also had to take like a Dark Reaper, the Fire Dragons.
I think it's cool. I think it's rad. But
Fire Dragons?
I'm not a true elf fan.
The
9 Fire Dragons would be insane.
Yeah, they would be busted.
That's why you'd only be able to take one. You know? One
even if they hit on 5s.
Nah, they're hitting on 3s.
Yeah. So Fire Dragons are my actual favorite aspect. They just have never been good. So, you know, it's unfortunate.
Hey, you say that, and in these last few weeks, when Eldar came in first in 40K, you know what was in those lists? Fire Dragons.
Oh, that's good.
They're owning.
But if you play Eldar now, you get crucified in 40K. So I don't know if I'm necessarily willing to do that.
Like the elf players adapted and figured out what worked well, and they found out Fire Dragons work well. In addition to all the standard stuff you take for elves.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
You know what pairs nice with devastating wounds? Meltas. Huh? Who'd have thunk it? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm very excited to repaint some Howling Banshees, some Striking Scorpions, and Dire Avengers. You know, everyone in our Discord, how about you get in there and you tell us what you think these Eldar teams are going to get, and possibly the Space Marines. Do you guys have any ideas of what you think the special faction? I don't know what else they could do.
They're going to get a scout ability. That's
they
literally
get
what
one
I'm
extra.
guessing.
They can take all 3, Giacomo.
Yeah.
They can take all 3 scouting options. That's their thing. They're scouts.
Yeah, that's literally it. They have scouting options available to them. Their equipments are going to be as Space Marine-y as possible. Auspex, combat knife, and one guy has a grappling launcher. That's like it. What else can you really do with Space Marines that we haven't done already?
You know, it makes
two heavy weapons
and 2 heavy, 3 if you count sniper.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you think you can field both heavies, or they're going to make you choose?
You're going to pick all 3.
I think you can take everything. Yeah.
Yeah, heavy missile, heavy bolter, missile launcher, and you get sniper.
I think
I dig that.
Yeah, and I'm sure one guy will have an ability to shoot a shotgun in close combat because again, they don't have.
Yeah.
I don't think they get a Starty shotgun because they're not a Starties yet, so they just get regular shotguns.
The scout shotguns are 4.4 in the compendium.
It's still not bad.
No, dude, 4.4 is gross.
It's pretty awesome. And if you
know
get
what
one
4.4 is good against? Anybody? Dropping
Everything?
elves, my boy.
Hey, there we go. My man's on top of it.
Hey, what about elves with a 3-up save and get a plus 1 additional dice and cover?
You fire that missile launcher.
Go for it. We're walking up. We're shooting you. We're getting up in 2. We're blasting you, hitting on 2s.
There you go.
All right.
And then that's still all I can really think of. I feel like there's, I don't know, what else can you really have?
So instead, they're like, hey, they can take this additional scouting option, and they can take 5 scouting options. You could dash twice. You can forward deploy a thing, and
maybe not so much that. Maybe if they take a scouting option, they get that scouting option again.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. I just don't know, guys, because Phobos are the sneaky Marines. So they can't be as sneaky as Phobos. They're going to be 2 APL. So man, I have a hard time.
Wounds.
Yeah, 4-up save.
Yep, 4-up save.
yeah,
and I'm sure there's going to be a comms man.
they definitely won't be as fast. I think it's going to be like Space Marine Light.
Well, it'll be 8 wounds, right? Not 10.
You don't think 10? I could see 10 on these guys.
They got to be at least 9.
I could see 9 or 10. Like I think
if it's 9 or 10, that's tough.
Compendium is 8 currently, right?
And these are the new Primaris scouts. So yeah, they might. I could see that.
Scouts. They're just
plus
scouts.
1.
Right,
I think that they could.
Yet.
I think we could see 9 wounds because Compendium was at 8, so 9 wounds, and then 10 for the sergeant at 4-up saves.
I think
that would be
11.
wild. Mm-hmm. Oof, that would be wild.
I think 10-11. I think that's what it's going to be.
You think 10-11, huh?
I think 10-11.
So you think that they're going to be as good as isn't that Compendium?
No,
10,
orcs
11?
have 10, and I was thinking, what other thing is close to orcs?
But what's
Scouts.
Compendium's wounds
8.
right now?
8.
No. Compendium Space Marines.
12.
11, 12, something like that.
Yeah, I think 10 is also pretty likely. I think it'll be 9 at minimum, but I feel 10. Because like a scout's about as strong as a base level orc.
Yeah,
that seems right to me.
They just don't have the
that's a
black
good
carapace
point because you're right. Compendium Space Marines were 12. Intercession dropped at 14. That's a +2. Like now, the firstborn is all just dead, but like Primaris, like in Kill Team, Primaris, I guess it gets 2 extra wounds, except for Phobos. So does that 2 extra wounds come with just the Intercessor armor? Is that 2 extra wounds?
Yeah, the
Are they
armor.
going to? Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Be curious. Interesting to see. 8 wounds feels a little soft. I do agree.
Yeah,
Right, that's a Kasserkin, and that's not what they are.
I agree.
Definitely bigger than Castigan. I'm thinking either 9 or 10 base for sure.
10-11. I'm calling it now.
10-11, huh?
Yeah, I'll put it on 10-11, please, and let's roll
Okay.
the roulette and let's see what happens.
G is the Space Marine man. I'll divvy to him.
That'd be cool, man.
I don't really want to collect scouts at this moment. It's just surprising.
Well, G, I will tell you that I think I have more Space Marine warriors, like troops, than you do.
I think you do. Yes. Yes.
Again, I have a problem. They're not as painted though. Yours are all done.
Mostly done. Yes.
Mine are not.
I got to save that money, or
Mm-hmm.
I choose to save that money to buy other Kill Team releases in the future. But I want to say they're going to have an ability or something where they can shoot a shotgun in close combat. But I feel like that's just cheating and like not cheating, but what the Breachers do already.
Yeah, I think not Breachers. Exaction can do that already.
Exaction does it. That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe he can shoot it while he's in combat.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I figured he'd be able to do.
Because the cops shoot other people while they're in combat. Very thematic.
Well, we can see one guy has a little zip line, so one guy is probably going to be a melee zip line guy.
Mm-hmm.
Little baby Reaver.
Yeah.
Little baby Reaver. Yeah, he's got the grapple launcher.
Yeah. What do you guys have any other ideas of what you guys think might be their special option, or do you think it's just they're going to go full meme and just say they're scouts, they can scout super good?
I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts? Because like I have having such a hard time trying to crack what their main thing is going to be.
Being boring and derivative.
They're scouts. They can scout a lot. That's
I think
thing.
I think the most interesting thing would be for this team is if Games Workshop made like 3 new scouting options, and then they were able to choose 2 of their own scouting option abilities plus 1
Ooh,
from
that's a good one.
plus 1 from like the actual scouting options. And like that would be a really interesting, I don't know what those scouting options would be, but it would also play super thematically into them just fucking being scouts.
And they would have recon and seek and destroy, because all Marines have seek and destroy.
Yeah, I could see them definitely having recon, especially on this new terrain layout. What do you guys think?
Probably infiltration.
Oh, infiltration.
You think so?
Infiltration and recon.
Big suckfest, but yeah.
Also Phobos.
They gotta have seek and destroy though.
No,
They gotta, every Marine has seek and destroy. That's just a rule.
They should not. This should be the one team that does not have it for Marines.
Can I
We got 3 heavy weapons, but we don't get seek and destroy.
Guess I killed myself.
Can I also say that these Raven Guard are painted super well?
I really do
totally.
like these.
I like their black eyes and
Yeah, they
the little white dots.
Yeah, they toned it in, man. Good job, guys. Good job, painting team.
Yeah, heavy metal team.
Heavy metal.
I mean, again, I'm going to talk shit on Raven Guard. Sorry, Raven Guard fans.
Ooh, bring it on.
Most boring chapter out there.
Concherodons are going to come and eat you alive, by the way.
They're exciting. So
yeah, they're actually pretty fucking cool.
They're cool.
The Concherodons are a derivative of, well, supposedly a derivative of the Raven Guard faction because Corvus like mutated a bunch of his dudes on accident, turned them all into like super crazy abominations, and when they almost all died. And a lot of the super crazy factions are rumored to be like, these guys, the Concherodon, the space sharks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the cool little nephew, like that's exiled from the family. He gets kicked out because he's like just too cool. He's too rebellious,
Mm-hmm.
Carcharodons are super
man.
sweet, man. I love the Carcharodons.
Mm-hmm. He's out there listening to heavy metal, ripping people apart. Like families disowned him. He's like, oh, we're boring and sulk in the shadows, So that's my opinion.
You know what the best thing about Raven Guard is?
What?
I can't think of who's their successor chapter that actually is cool.
Raptors.
Raptors, yeah. Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors are pretty dope.
F, dude. Raptors can get it.
Raptors
suck. but Raven Guard suck.
Yep, agreed. I mean, like they're boring. I mean, like how can like Corvus be like, I hate all tyrants, and then the Emperor shows up and he's like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'll just hop in.
He's like rebellious until he's like, what's for dinner?
Yeah, he's like that guy. He's like, I hate authority, and then like when he's a teenager, he's been listening to Rage Against the Machine, and then he becomes a cop.
And he has to pay taxes.
And he's like, I love this song, and everyone's like, bro, the song's about you.
Against what you stand for.
It is you.
Can we just call out like one of the best unexplored characters for Space Marines real quick? And that's going to be Tiberus, the Red Wake Master of the Space Sharks.
The big
he rules. Biggest Space Marine ever, I think.
On Primaris too.
Yeah, not just of the Carcharodons, but of Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the Minotaur guy bigger than him?
This guy is so big, people think that he's a dreadnought. And he just like rips people apart. He's the Shade Lord of the Carcharodons. I mean, maybe the Minotaur dude is bigger. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know their lore.
I think Tiberius has always been like rumored to be the biggest.
Yeah, that's what I've.
I know that those are the 2 biggest for sure. In the lore, but like I know that the guy from the Minotaurs is not only the biggest dick next to maybe the Marines Malevolent, but one of the largest.
Yeah, I was going to say Minotaurs suck. Bad Ab War, they suck.
Yeah, I mean, like they're fucking dickheads.
We're Team Astral Claws till we die, baby.
Absolutely.
Silvers and blues.
I'm a big fan of Lysander myself, and Tiberius. I think he's a fucking awesome dude. How about you, G? What's your favorite Space Marine character from lore?
From lore? Oh shit, man. That's a tough one.
On the spot. Other than Sigismund, because Sigismund is
pretty dope.
He is the best.
I don't know. The dude who is one of the founding members of the Grey Knights, believe it is it's gonna sound like Tor Garadon, but it's not that. It's Tor Gardon, I think. He's in the Horse Heresy books.
Yeah,
he's a Sons of Horus, right?
Yeah, he's the Sons of Horus, and he'll end up founding the Grey Knights. Yeah, he's dope as fuck.
Along with the other guy, Loken, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't he become Janus? Like he gets implanted with a shard of Magnus?
I think so.
Or was that another guy?
Oh, man, we suck. What nerds?
Yeah.
We're the worst. My favorite Space Marine character for me has got to be Huron. Formerly Astral Claws turned Red Corsairs.
Nice.
That's why you like him.
Yeah, Luft, however you pronounce his first stupid name. Huron Blackheart is all we care about these days.
Hell yeah.
People say Magnus did nothing wrong. No, go back, read Bad Ab. Huron did nothing wrong. The Imperium abandoned him and he did his best. Suck it.
You know what that reminds me of? The rumor that Drazar was the very first was the Phoenix Lord for the Striking Scorpions when he abandoned.
Yeah, I was reading about that the other day because I was looking into this team. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
they basically confirmed it like in one of the recent things too.
They kind of did. I mean, maybe they have. I don't think I'm updated on it, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I sure hope it is because it would cause some spicy drama between the current Phoenix Lord and Drazar. I think that would be amazing.
Absolutely.
This is a lore podcast now.
Yeah. I like Azrael. We're going to go down this.
Ooh.
First Legion is the best, you know. Wait, sorry. Dark Angels chapter. We're not a Legion anymore. But Azrael, you know, like he's a big character, but he often gets overlooked. Like there's that time he totally like ran Karn into a Lord of Change, you know, like tricked him. Not many people survive Karn. Just a cool character in general.
You know who killed Karn? Sigismund.
I mean, you know, look how that turned out for Sigismund.
I mean, he died eventually to Abaddon.
To boy Abby. Yeah. One of his few successes.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey,
no, Azrael's badass though. I'm not gonna lie.
Actually, you know what? No, Abaddon. No, that's fine. He sucks. Abaddon sucks. Huron for War Master. Abaddon sucks.
I have a soft spot for Abaddon too. I think he's cool. I think he's the good guy currently. The closest thing I think he's the one to save humanity because he doesn't really bow down to chaos. He uses it as a tool. He wants to fucking destroy the Imperium and then reset everything. Chaos loses all its power. You know, it just goes back to this weird feudal state. I think he's the good guy out of like him or the Imperium.
I'll give you that. Imperium sucks.
Yeah, I think that the
Emperor...
You know
what? Fuck both of you. Lion all the way, okay? He's going to chop off fucking Abby Boy's little head, and then Horan can fucking come and be the leader, and then Ben can be happy, and I can be happy.
I mean, I'll agree with that, because the Lion, he's a nice guy now, you know? Like, he was a homicidal, genocidal maniac, 10,000 years ago, but then he took a nap and he feels better.
Yeah, people change.
10,000 years in the
He broke into a Kit Kat bar or Snickers, and he feels better now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
you know what we need? We need a big shakeup. We need somebody like a loyalist Primarch to turn bad. Is what we need. Like I've said this many times, but like my dream is that we get to the end of the Siege of Terra. And like, what's Blood Angel's blonde boy? What's his name?
No, don't say it. Stop it.
What's his name? Sanguinius. What actually happened is he was turned by Abaddon, and the Emperor has to kill both of them. That is my dream.
That'd be
It'll
like
never
the craziest
happen.
Conspiracy.
So that would be so sweet.
I think it'd be pretty dope, though.
We need
my
a shake
wife
up.
now might murder you.
Ooh, is she a big?
She's a big Sigismund fan. I mean, Sigwinius fan. Yeah.
Like that's one of the secrets this whole time.
Yeah, everybody they would riot in the streets if that happened. But I think we need a Primarch to turn. We need some shift. We need a big shift. Somebody who was good needs to join Abaddon.
I got a theory for you. I got a theory for you.
Ooh, Vulcan's my boy. Salamanders are my favorite loyalist.
No, I don't think that Vulcan's too good of a good dude to be evil, and it would break my heart if he did.
That would just make it so much better.
Exactly.
I got to find out this guy's name. Who's the Custodes? Who's the Yellow King? You guys know?
Yeah,
I remember his name.
I do.
Well, I don't remember.
Valdor.
Valdor.
It's Constantine Valdor.
That's what it was.
So Constantine Valdor was given the sword by the Emperor.
By the way, this is some spoilers for those who haven't read certain things. So
yeah, well, too bad. He stabs whenever he kills a demon. He learns their name. He can learn everything about that person. What if he stabs Abaddon? Or he stabs the Emperor? Something crazy happens at the end of this thing, and that turns him to go bad. Or who knows what? I'm just super excited about this Inquisitor series to see where it goes.
Waiting for the last of the Beckwin books, man.
Yeah, we need a big shakeup. We need somebody who was good to turn bad. We need a big shakeup.
What if Abaddon becomes good?
Then I jump off a bridge.
I mean, good is very relative.
Yeah, he's already good. I'm with Tyler. He's already good. Imperium is the biggest. The Imperium is the biggest evil there is.
Hey, Farsight is the only actually good guy in the 41st millennium.
Even in the
also the dwarves.
Good guy now. I want Farsight and the lion to kiss.
Like you take your models, no kiss.
I think if you go to the lore, like
so the Hearthkin.
I think if you go to Reddit, you can definitely find a picture of Farsight and the lion.
Not yet, but now in this podcast, someone will make it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm not trying to pay for that art. I'm just trying to get someone to draw it for free. I'm putting the idea out there.
Well, then you're never going to get that art because you got to pay for that kind of content.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't need it super spicy, just like, little.
Yeah, tasteful.
Yeah, tasteful, funny.
Like a woo kind of tasteful.
Sure,
like very just cutesy.
Whatever works, or in the lore would be even better. A book where they kiss. Did you guys? Okay, we got to talk about the kiss in the Lionel Johnson book between the fallen Space Marines. The one kisses the other on the forehead. If that's not love between two Space Marines, I don't know what is.
A kiss on the mouth?
On the forehead, he's like.
I know, but a kiss on the mouth would probably.
I mean, a hot mouth.
I mean, but like forehead kisses are so tender.
It's tender. I was thinking tender was the first word that came to my mind.
Like how sweet. He's like, we're gonna kill everyone in the universe, and then kisses him on the forehead.
That's funny. All right,
Hearthkin are also pretty good. Hearthkin are the other good guys. They're pretty good.
Are they? Because I'm pretty sure they use artificial intelligence, which is like super bad.
Okay, what are you,
You're
cop?
like an Imperium
You a
guy.
cop, Dakotah?
I think that they're
you can't lie to me. You have to tell me the truth. Are you a cop?
One of my old professions was a security guard. It's pretty much civilian as close as you could get to an authoritarian position. But rounding out this podcast, everyone, love to have you guys on. What do you guys want to shout out?
I want to shout out just like the amazing community we have up here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope that everyone comes out for Killscream 3. We don't have a date yet, but we will soon, and a proper web presence so that everyone can actually read about it this year in advance and know how to book and how to come and what we're doing and all that. So just
don't schedule it over SoCal Open, my friend.
Or Tampa, please. Or Tampa.
I'm trying not to. You're committed already, Ben.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Tell your boss it's for work anyways.
Ooh, I'll see what I can do. I'm locked in, though. I'm locked in for Killscream 3.
Absolutely. So, and you too, Giacomo and Dakotah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're coming.
Yeah. You got to pull out all our skins.
When we put up our schedule for this year, we're going to be also putting up what we will be attending as well. So
that's cool.
Just make sure you come out with your wrestler persona. We're going to need a name, a whole theme.
Can I use my Native American name, Big Timber?
Absolutely, if you
I was
want.
gifted that at birth.
Yes,
by my great grandfather.
I love it, but get a leotard and a costume too. Let's go the whole way.
Yeah,
so, it's gonna
be full wood. I'm just gonna be look like a wood dude.
He's a tree.
Just a tree. That's it. With a mask of a tree. How about you, Ben?
Oh yeah, man. I'll do the same thing. I'll shout out the Florida community rules. They killed it. Big props to our boy Dawson with the golden ticket. That's awesome. Shout out. Then shout out to just Warp Fire for being cool and sending me places and making the way for that. Kill Team Casuals is the podcast that I'm on with my good buds Reese and Russ. And if you like Kill
Great
Team
dudes.
Content with a little bit of a silly twist, give us a listen. And Battle Brothers Tabletop. Maybe I'll post another video. Maybe I won't. Who knows? I'm trying. We'll see what happens.
The suspense is killing me.
Absolutely.
G.
Yep. Let me do my whole thing right now. So I'd like to first off shout out Ben for being the first of us to actually finish his display board and team
Ooh,
in the new year.
take that, boys. Take that.
He has beaten all of us. And I think Dakotah and Sai are in last place. I don't know the progress of their new stuff. Striking Scorpions are coming in, so Dakotah can make a comeback. Who knows?
Pull it out.
I haven't done anything, G.
That's what I'm saying. Striking Scorpions are coming out. They could make a comeback. You could make a comeback. Otherwise, you got to go to Florida. That was the rule. Remember?
It is the rule. It is the rule.
That's what the wager was.
How about you, G? Have you?
Yeah, I got 3 teams in the work.
All
But
right.
I think I'm just going to try to focus and finish
One?
Casterkin.
You better.
Which, if you want to see the progress on those Casterkin, you can find me on Instagram at wargaming_studios. That's wargaming_studios on Instagram. And I have a few more things to shout out. I want to thank our affiliates, Frontline Gaming. So if you're in the market for new box sets, secondhand models, or attending one of their events, consider using the link in our description. Any purchase that you make there gives us a kickback, which helps us make more of these episodes and run events for you guys out here in SoCal, and hopefully expanding more into the middle of the country as time goes on. And then I also want to shout out Goblin's Hut. If you're looking to step up your game, whether you want to use their Dirty Down or get some of their other accessories, you can use our code SQUAD10. It's same thing, some kickback to us, which again helps us run everything. And lastly, I want to thank our patrons on Patreon. They help support us in a more personal way. And of course, we still appreciate you guys listening and using the affiliate links or just coming to our events. All those are wonderful. But if you want to go to the next step, you can feel free to join us on Patreon. And that does help us a lot. And of course, you can find us on Discord at the Squad Games Discord. More links in the description. Yeah.
I'd like to shout out every person that attended the All Valley Team Tournament a few weeks ago. That event really keeps us going, and it keeps us motivated to continue doing this for the community. And without people coming to our events and hanging out and playing Kill Team, we would eventually go away. So I want to say thank you to everyone who comes to our events, all of our patrons, all of our people that we have as guests on the show, everyone that communicates in our Discord, to the community at large. Thank you, everyone, and making us, a pleasure to do this for everyone. So that's it.
I'm so proud. Now kiss me on my hot mouth. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say. The favorite thing out of Warhammer Day was that stilts looking motherfucker for this guitar. He's going to be under your bed tonight.
I have mixed feelings. I like him and I hate him at the same time. I think he fits that AdMech aesthetic so well, but
how do you transport that model? How do you transport that model?
You don't. You leave him under your bed.
Leave him under your bed. The Squad Games podcast is a production of Squad Games Entertainment. For more information on Squad Games, please visit our website at lestersworkshop.com/squad-games.